I want to share a few thoughts with you about this past session that I hope will be insightful and will help us better appreciate just how difficult the session was. This legislature was faced with a decision this year, at the end of the day, the way I looked at it, to either grow government or to make it more efficient. I believe that there is no coincidence that because of our present troubles, that they are largely due to the intrusion into our lives by big government. The proof is clear. Years of economic uncertainty, massive job losses, home foreclosures, credit crisis, and a fluctuating roller coaster stock market. It has not been easy for us in Texas, nor for people in America. And this past November, millions of you, fellow Texans, sent a very clear message to everyone in Austin. We want our government to spend only the money it can afford. You told us, just as working families have to tighten their belts, we want you in Austin to tighten yours. You sent us to Austin because you wanted results, not rhetoric. You wanted solutions and not politics. So with these orders, with my hand, my colleagues and I fought strongly to preserve your state's economic future by applying common sense, conservative principles with every vote we made. It has been said that every challenge presents an opportunity, and if that's right, we have more opportunities than we know what to do with. Yet during this very time of distress, Texas forged its own path. Some states have done better than others, but Texas has done better than them all. And ladies and gentlemen, this has not happened by accident, but rather by conservative leadership during these past 10 years that were not afraid to make the tough decisions when they had to be made. Consider for a moment what Texas has achieved just the past 2 years during this difficult economic time. Texas has added over 198,000 jobs. Our unemployment rate dropped from 8% to 8.1%, all the while Texas' population grew by over 230,000 people in just 2 years. Texas added over 130,000 new businesses just in 1 year ago. And finally, for every 10 jobs created in America, Texas created 4 of them. We're doing some things right in Texas. But these jobs that were created, ladies and gentlemen, are not Republican jobs or Democrat jobs. These are jobs our people need. And these are jobs that we now have. And Texas has proven it once again to the nation that we are the model. That when we get government out of the way, that we allow the private sector to do what the private sector does best, and that's to create jobs, to create wealth, and to create opportunities for the citizens of the state. Imagine what we've done this session. As has been mentioned before, we balanced the budget without raising taxes. We closed a historic $25 billion shortfall. We reduced spending by $15 billion. We passed loser pay legislation that protects small business owners. We passed TWIA reform, a step in the right direction. We extended the $1 million franchise tax exemption for small business owners. We strengthened the property rights of owners, and we protected human life. We passed health care reform that will save us, the taxpayers of Texas, over $469 million in the next 2 years. We protected the rainy day fund because we're going to need it. We passed voter ID, and we increased funding for voter security to ensure that our citizens are safer. My team and I personally passed legislation to restore the city of Corpus Christi and Nueces County almost $1 million in state revenues that was taken away from us during this budget. And finally, we passed serious government reform that, when once enacted throughout the state agencies, has the potential to save Texas $15 to $25 billion per year. That's real dollars. That's what we've done this session. And I think that's something Texas can be proud of. We've had some good successes in Texas, without question, but as Texans, good enough isn't good enough for us. We want excellence, and there's still much work to be done. These decisions that we made will give your families and mine a more stable and secure future. The truth is this: Texas prisoners will remain safely locked up. The neediest of our population will receive the help they need. Public and higher ed will face a real tight budget cuts for the first time. But the budget cuts given to them, though painful, are manageable. And we'll find solutions to them as we move forward. And I firmly believe that the decisions we made will position Texas for a more prosperous economic future, so our children will receive a good education. The truly poor of our state will be provided for, and those who want to find work will have a job waiting for them when they're ready. That's my vision of Texas. But this is not to say that all our troubles are over, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot of legislative work to be done. Imagine for just a moment the challenges we face today. Over 985 of our fellow Texans are unemployed right now in Texas. College tuition has risen 61% over the last 7 years. That is unacceptable. Many of our state bridges and roadways are in poor conditions that are in need of repair, putting our families at risk. This is unthinkable. Our state government desperately needs a renewed focus on core functions. This is undeniable. Our state retirement system has an unfunded liability of $155 billion and growing. Medicaid spending has grown 114% over the last 9 years, and both of these are unsustainable. We've got real problems facing Texas. And as you can see, there's a lot of work that remains. And you deserve a government that allows you to keep more of your hard-earned money, I believe. A government that respects the fact that authority comes from us, the people, and not the other way around. A government that recognizes that the free market is the greatest generator of wealth and opportunity for all Texans. History has shown that. And that we are wise enough to realize that Ronald Reagan was right when he said government is the problem. What I believe perhaps the next legislative session we need to contend with are these issues. We must create new innovative incentives to help start, grow, and build businesses in Texas. We must find a way to freeze college tuition so our students can afford college education. We must expand career technology funding for programs that will provide our students who choose not to go to college a job skill that they can be proud of and can be a productive member of our society. We must find a replacement for the current school funding formula that no longer works and is not fair for our community. We must find other ways to finance our highway construction needs. We need $10 billion in the next 4 to 6 years to get our traffic moving and to get new jobs created without a tax increase. We need to replace the margin tax, which is deficient, doesn't work, and replace it with one that's fair, easy to administer, and affordable for everyone. We need to reform state government and make sure that state government focuses on its core functions and becomes more efficient and more effective for all of us here. And the list can go on and on. There's a lot of work to do in Texas. But I believe Texas' best days are not behind us, but rather they lie in front of us. With leadership such as we have in the coastal Bend area, we can forge forward in Texas with making the right choices to create a prosperous economy and happiness and a safe place for our children. So I close and I ask with this question, ladies and gentlemen. What would you want? What do you want? Do you want a future full of opportunity? Or would you like a future full of despair, doubts, and debt? My friends, I believe you deserve a government that is more efficient and more effective. I believe that you deserve a government that is accountable, transparent, and responsible, that will deliver measurable results for us, the taxpayers. I believe these things. But you are in control. You choose the leaders that will represent you in Austin. And you choose what kind of government you want working for you. That's the beauty of Texas. You get to choose. If you remember just one thing today, my friends, remember this. That you deserve a government that will listen to you. You deserve it. No more budget tricks. No more accounting gimmicks. No more empty promises, ladies and gentlemen. You have the right to know the truth. And I have that responsibility too. My friends, I hear your message. I understand that you didn't elect us so you could just call us Mr. Representative. But rather you elected me and my fellow colleagues to lead and find solutions to these and many more problems that we're facing in Texas. And with your continued support, that is exactly what I intend to do on my behalf. And together, my friends, we can move Texas forward. We can lead the nation for years to come. God bless you.